you just see this page, home page, after you log in, there is a Ryan app. You can install this Ryan app, RAYYAN. You can just open the mobile, go to Play Store, install this Ryan app. Once you log into the system, you will see this screen. How many of you are able to see the screen? Okay, there is a purple color icon which says add folder. If you click on that add folder, it is going to ask you the name of the review. Create the title, right? You can just type the title there, systematic review. Can you do that? What is the review that we are doing? Overall zinc. You can give a review title overall zinc. And you have to select what is the type of review that you want. This is systematic review. Right? Review domain, you can say biomedical. And then create review. Can you do that? Give a review title, overall zinc, review type, systematic review, and review domain, biomedical, create review. Step number 2, what is asking step number 2? Yeah, if you have your documents you downloaded from PubMed, right? PubMed, do you remember that we got 102 studies? You can download those studies and upload it into this platform. Okay? You can download that PubMed data and then upload it into this platform. How to download this in PubMed? There is an option of create files. I don't know whether you can do it in mobile, but in your laptop you should be able to download those files and then upload it into the Ryan software. And step number 3 is start screening. Okay, this tool is a tool which is going to help you for screening the studies. Okay, first search, we have done the search. We all remember that we went to PubMed and perform the search. What was the result that we got? 102 studies. Now we have to screen all the 102 studies for actually they are eligible for your review. Correct? So you cannot just do that in PubMed. We have to use this tool. There are a lot of YouTube videos are there to learn how to use this Ryan tool. Please use that to learn, or you can use GPT, ask GPT to help you learn this Ryan tool. Okay? This tool is helping you to screen the studies. And while screening, 2 people independently need to screen. This tool also facilitates 2 people independently screening. If I am going to screen the studies, my co-author will also be able to screen the same studies. That feature is available here in this, and it will also give you a prisma flow diagram. There is a diagram which is there in your systematic review called prisma flow diagram, and also you have to report your systematic review according to Prisma checklist. What is this Prisma? How to write a systematic review? You should follow the Prisma template. Just make a note of it. Prisma is your reporting standard for systematic review. And similarly, Prisma flow diagram is a diagram that we have to create. So this software is going to help you in terms of doing this action. Okay, now that using this Riot tool you are able to screen the studies for inclusion. After this, the third step is after screen data collection. Make a note, there is a tool called data collection, Cochrane data collection form. Make a note, data collection form, just search for Cochrane group. Go to Google, ask for data collection form, Cochrane.
Now that I have sent a link for you to download the software.
So after this, we will now do a meta-analysis using the review manager software. Okay, there is a software that you can download and learn. How many of you got your laptop now? Those who got your laptop, if you have your review manager installed, then it's okay. If you don't have it, you download now, you will only install tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of time. The internet is very poor here. Okay, therefore, those who have your laptop installed with Revmet, you can learn it. Okay? How many of you got the Revmet installed? Here? No? None of you have found. Okay, then I will do a demo now. You watch my screen. There is a YouTube video from NIPER, N-I-P-E-R, not NIPER. You can go and search for my name, you will get a video there how to use Revmet. The same Revmet you can, learn through that. I will also post that link here in this group, the reference. Okay? Now, the first step in doing meta-analysis is just make a note. If you have a paper and pen, make a note how we can do an analysis. So, step number one is what? Searching for studies. Make a note, step number one, searching for studies. How did we perform search? Using a search strategy. What is the search strategy? Boolean operators, and or not. Search strategy has been built using Boolean operators. That's the first step. Okay? Now, where are we search? PubMed, Google Scholar, write down. PubMed, Google Scholar, Embase, Scopus, Web of Science. These are various databases that we will search for studies. Okay? Step number one is searching for studies using search strategy, Boolean operators. Where will we search? PubMed, Google Scholar, and Embase, Web of Science, everywhere. Step number two, screen the studies. How will you screen the studies? Ryan software. Ryan software is going to help you to screen the studies. After screening, Prisma flow diagram. Write out document 10 Prisma flow diagram. Next step is extract data. Extract data. Where will we get data? From each included studies. From each included studies, extract data. So what data that we should extract? Risk of bias. Risk of bias. And the second data is meta-analysis data, numerical data. Okay? So risk of bias, there are tools available. Risk of bias tool, Cochrane as a tool that you can use. So there is a data collection form, Cochrane data collection form, COCHRANE, Cochrane data collection form. You can download from internet and use that form for data collection. Understood? Now we collected the data. Now we go to the next step called meta-analysis. Okay, in the meta-analysis, follow the step that I am telling you. Step number 1, in meta-analysis, step number 1. What is a comparison? What are we comparing here? Oral zinc versus placebo. Example, put an example. First step number 1, set up comparison. Set up comparison. Example, oral zinc versus placebo. That is example. Step number 2, add study data. Add study data. What data that we should add? For each outcome that we should add. Next is add outcome. Add study data, add outcome. Okay, add outcome. What is the outcome that we are interested in? Duration of symptoms. Okay, we are interested in duration of symptoms. Measured with number of days, 3 days or 5 days or 6 days, like that. It is a continuous data. Mean and standard deviation is what we want to collect from each paper. What is the average days taken to relieve the symptoms? Okay, in the intervention oral zinc group, 2.5 days. In the comparison group, 4 days or 5 days, 5.6, 5.5 days. Okay, something data will come like that. We have to take this data and collect for each study. Now we are collecting for only one study. So if we have 5 studies, we should collect data from 5 studies. If you have 10 studies, 10 studies may contribute, may not contribute. Maybe they have not reported duration of symptoms. They have reported something else, fever or something, or temperature. So not all the 10 studies that you include need not necessarily contribute data. But you have to see how many studies actually contribute data to your analysis. So to conduct meta-analysis, we need minimum 2 studies. Only then you can combine the data together. If you have only one study, no meta-analysis. We need at minimum 2 studies to combine this data in your meta-analysis. And then we will generate a forest plot. Okay, the output that you are going to get from meta-analysis is called forest plot. Okay, the output that you are going to see is called forest plot. And we will talk about how to interpret the forest plot. Okay, now, so I will give you a practical demo now. You can just watch my screen, or if you want to take a video, you can take a video. Then we will present the findings. So you will be able to see the software like this. This is the first page. Once you install the software, you will be in this page. which tells you that what type of review that you are planning to do. I will create a new file here. Say next, intervention review next. I will give a title here, oral zinc for cold. Next, here you have to pay attention. You should be in a full review mode to do analysis and then finish. You understand that? That is the first step. Step number 1, create a new file with a name. Step number 2, add the references. So here you can see here which says studies and references, included study. Right click, add study. I can just give a name, author name and the year of publication and then finish. So to conduct analysis, I need minimum 2 studies. I am going to add another study. Now you can see there is 2 study that has been added here. Okay? Done. Now I will go to meta-analysis. See here data analysis. Right click, add comparison. Oral zinc versus placebo. Finish. Okay, comparison is done. Now I will add the outcome for this comparison. Add outcome continuous because it's duration of symptoms. Next, I will say duration of symptoms. Finish. So it will take you to this page. Now I will add the data for this 2 study. First study says there is 3.5 days of duration and 1.2 days of standard deviation. There were 200 people are there in the intervention group. The control group 5.5 days, 5.5 days, 1.5 days, 200 people are there. This is the first study data. Okay, I got collected from the paper. After reading the paper, I got this data. Second study, I read the data. They are also saying 4.5 with 1.8 as a standard deviation. There were 100 people there. Here 6.8, 1.5, 100 people are there. So this is the data that I have got from the second study. So what is happening? Just by entering this data, you can see changing the scale. You will see that what the diamond tells you. The diamond says favors experimental, which means that it is favoring the oral zinc. How much is the benefit that we can get? The value tells you that there is a 2.08. So on an average, people who are taking oral zinc will reduce their symptoms by 2 days early compared to placebo. If placebo is going to reduce the symptoms on day 7, if you are taking oral zinc, what's going to happen? You will relieve by day 5. Okay? 2 days before. 7 days means you will relieve by 5 days. That is the meaning of -2 indicates there. Okay, now you are able to understand what the diamond is trying to tell you. The diamond is trying to help us to say where there is a benefit. Okay, now if you notice this, there are a couple of things that you should remember here. This block size is bigger. Do you see that? Why? You can see that the first study has got 200 plus 200, 400 sample size. The more the information, it gets more weightage. The second study has got only 200 participants there. So therefore the weight for the second study is only 25% given. Okay, that is why I mentioned initially, it's not number of studies, it's about how much information that the study can provide. Okay, so you can see that the size is bigger indicates the weight. The size minimum is indicates lesser weight. Okay, understood that? Now what we are trying to do is combine the results from both the studies. So now you can see there are a couple of things that we have added on the top. IV, fixed 95% CI. IV stands for inverse variance method of cooling. Fixed stands for fixed effect model. And 95% CI stands for confidence interval. Okay? Now, how do we decide whether to use fixed effect model or random effect model? Now you can see in this analysis, there is something called heterogeneity, which is given in the below. So that heterogeneity is actually trying to help us to see whether the study results are consistent between the two different studies. Here Ramesh and Richard are giving data for duration of symptoms after conducting a study on comparing oral zinc versus placebo. Richard is saying that there is a 2 days before the symptoms will get relieved. But Ramesh is saying 2 days. Richard is saying 2 days and some days 3 hours or 5 hours. 2.3. So both of them are saying there is a benefit in the same direction. Therefore, if you look at I square, it is telling you 18%. So both of them are same direction, less I square, therefore fixed effect model is fine. What if the results are like this? Let me change the results. Now what the result tells you? Ramesh is saying there is a 2 days difference, but Richard is saying there is 1 day increase. If you are going to get oral zinc, you will have to just even wait more days to get relief. So the results are not in the same direction. One is saying better, another one is saying worse. But the diamond is telling you the oral zinc is better because the first study has got more sample size. That result is more trustworthy than my sample size result. Therefore, the diamond is telling the truth. Can I do a meta-analysis now? We can do a meta-analysis, but it might not be this kind of a result. Why? Because look at the heterogeneity. I square is 99%, which is very large. Both the studies are disagreeing. So now I cannot give a fixed effect model. I can only use a random effect model. What is happened to my diamond? The diamond is telling that there is no difference between oral and placebo because you can see the diamond is on this side, also favoring on the other side. Look at the bottom, favors experiment and favors control. So therefore, it is not a correct result. So one option is, I will not do a meta-analysis because I square is 99%. If I attempt to do a meta-analysis, I should show this as a result, not the previous one. We should do a random effect model instead of fixed effect model. So these kind of a decision has to be made depends upon the data that you are getting. And all this information need to be written in your protocol stage. I will do random effect model if I find heterogeneity is more than 50%. Okay, that's a standard statement that you can keep. If my I square is greater than 50%, I will switch to a random effect model. If the I square is 90%, I will not do a meta-analysis. Okay? Now, I will just go back to the original. Now what is the problem? What is I square now? I square is still 85%, very large. But can I just pull the data now? Yes, because both the studies are the same direction, saying that there is a benefit with the oral supplement, zinc. However, one is showing greater benefit, other one is showing moderate benefit. Now I can use a random effect model and pull the data. In the previous case, I will not show a diagram. Whereas in this case, I square is more, but I am using a random effect model to pull the data together. So this kind of a calculation that we should do depends upon the data. Okay? Understood now? Now I am going to give you some exercise to see whether you are able to understand. Okay, I am going to add one more outcome now. You are going to help me to analyze length of hospital stay, LOH. Okay, two studies contributing data. Okay, now tell me what I should do. What is the result tells you? I am going to give oral zinc compared to placebo, length of hospital stay. What is the result tells me? Favors placebo. Okay, what is the interpretation now? If you are taking oral zinc, you have to stay in an hospital longer compared to placebo. Is it making sense? No, it is not making sense. That just took up the data. If it is a treatment which is supposed to be given in the hospital, let's say it's a chemotherapy, does that make sense? Because we only give chemotherapy in hospital. Therefore, the length of hospital stay is more. So you have to think from the context of what the data is trying to tell you. Don't simply look at the labels. Think from the data, what it is trying to tell you. Okay? Now you can say how many days that you should stay in hospital more. What it says? 2.5 days more that you should stay in a hospital if you are going to take chemotherapy compared to placebo intervention. Okay? Is both the results are saying the same thing? Yes. Both the results are the same side, telling that if you are going to take chemotherapy, you will be staying more in the hospital. What I square? 39%. Therefore, not a bad analysis. If it is 50 plus, what I should do? I should just go to a random effect model. What's the model currently that we are using? Fixed effect model. Understood now? I mean 100 is a total value, just giving a reference of 50% and above. Just keep it 50 as a, in the middle. So above 50, there's no option. Either to wood or just, stick to a random thing. Understood now? What's happening? Okay. Second, let's look at some more output. So now you are going to help me. What is the figure here? What is the figure here? Population, who is the population? Okay, children aged 2 to 59 months is the population of interest. Intervention? Zinc supplementation. Compared to no supplementation. Okay. Now what we are trying to measure as an outcome? Prevention of pneumonia. Okay. Now, what is the first step? What is the first step? Searching for studies. Where will you search? PubMed. Yeah, you can see that. Where all they have searched? What did they search? Where all they search? Cochrane Library, Medline, MPACE, Lilacs, Sinhal, Web of Science. These are the different databases that they have searched. Okay, got it? Right? Okay. Now what is the search strategy that they have given? You go to appendix and see what is the search strategy. See here, pneumonia, bronchopneumonia, pleural pneumonia, respiratory tract. What are the interventions? Zinc, dietary supplement, micronutrition. You can see all these keywords. Correct? This is the search strategy. That is the place where they have searched for data. Okay. Now what is next? What is next? After search strategy and searching, select the studies, screen the studies. How did they screen? Tell me. Two authors independently screened the study for inclusion. They extracted the data. So how many studies they have included in this analysis? How many they find? 461 studies that they were able to find from each database. This is called Prisma flow diagram. How many they screened? How many studies did they screen? 479. You can see that after duplication, 76 records screened. Totally 76 records have been screened. Out of 76 records, how many were included? 36 were full text article. Finally, how many were participated in the study? Only 6 studies contributed data. So in this analysis, for this review, only 6 studies contributed data. Correct? In this 6 studies, we should extract the data. What is the data that we should extract? Risk of bias. You can see here, they have given a risk of bias graph. You see this color? Red indicates there is a problem. Green indicates no problem. Yellow indicates I don't know. Okay, the traffic light figure which informs you that there is a problem in the study. So you can see that penny 2004. What is the problem there? Everything is unclear. One has got a major problem, which is incomplete outcome data. They did not provide the data for all the participants. Therefore, there is a problem there, which is red. Okay? And the last study, again they also not provided any data. Only the 2 studies is red color, which they did not give adequate data for us. You are able to understand now what this figure tells you? Okay, next, let's see what is the result tells us. You have to help me to analyze this data. Okay, tell me now. Can you see from there? If you want, you can open up your mobile and go to this. It's freely available. You can check in your mobile. Tell me what is the result tells you. Is the result favor zinc or favors placebo? Look at the bottom. The diamond is in which side? Favors zinc. You can see that both the place it is favors zinc. So this is talking about how many people have got pneumonia incidents after giving the zinc. How many of them actually got pneumonia? So here you are just saying that the incidence of pneumonia is lower with the zinc. The diamond is favoring zinc compared to placebo. Therefore, zinc is helping people to reduce the incidence of pneumonia. Okay? Right. Now next. This is pneumonia prevalence. Where the diamond is? Diamond is it? Favors zinc side. Okay, again here also pneumonia helps to prevent the pneumonia. Sorry, zinc helps to prevent the pneumonia here. Okay, again. And if you look at Parker's chart, what is I-square statistics? You have to see I-square, right? I square is all 0, 0. So therefore no problem. What they have done? Fixed effect or random effect? Fixed effect model. Okay? Theta. That's all. So what's the conclusion here? Should we give oral zinc? Yes. We should give oral zinc to prevent pneumonia in children 2 months to 59 months. So you can go and read that. The evidence is coming from how many trials? 6 trials. Do all the 6 trials contributed data everywhere? No. For the prevalence, only one study given the data. Remember that. For the incidence, how many study contributed data? Study contributed data. How many studies? The first analysis, there were 4 study contributed data. The second analysis, there were 4 studies. Totally 6 study, you might think 8, right? No. The same study has contributed data in different places. You can see that Matari 2002 is contributed in 2 places. And what is the difference in both the places? The first one is without chest X-ray, diagnosis by. The second one is diagnosis based age-specific fast breathing confirmed by chest examination or chest radiograph. There are 2 different diagnostic procedures. How they confirm pneumonia. Okay? So they have analyzed the data like that. Should we recommend oral zinc? Yes. There is a benefit for baby getting pneumonia. Pneumonia might lead to death. It's a very serious problem. Therefore, oral zinc is a very cheap intervention. Okay, it is not very expensive. You know. Then the government will decide it is 1 rupee or it is 50 paise. Let's make a policy that we will administer oral zinc at least for 1 dose or 2 doses for at least 1 week. Therefore, we can save a lot of babies. If it is going to be 10,000 rupees oral zinc, can we make a policy? There might be a good intervention which is helpful, but we cannot make a policy for everybody. You understood now? There is an evidence which is coming, but the evidence cannot be used. Okay? Now, I have shown you this, right? There is time. Can you go back and read this review? Take your mobile. Go to this review. The review is oral zinc. You can look at all these. Oral zinc treating diarrhea in children. Should we give oral zinc? Yes or no? We have to see the evidence what it says. Now look at this. Let's see whether you are able to make a decision directly. Okay, tell me we should give oral zinc or not. What does this tell you? What does the first diagram tell you? First diagram tells you on the other side, which is placebo. Second diamond, zinc, where zinc. Third diamond, zinc. When I combine all the results together, zinc. How much is the efficiency? 84%. What should I done? Random effect. So you can see that on the top, they have done a random effect model. So what is the conclusion? Zinc is helping in reducing the days of diarrhea. You should give zinc? Yes. Okay? This one. Should we give zinc? Yes. The diamond tells you we favor zinc. And what is the outcome here? It is diarrhea on day 7. Okay, you can see that zinc is helping to reduce the diarrhea time. Therefore, we should administer zinc. Can you read that zinc and see what you are able to see from the box plot? Okay, this is very important. Now tell me. Oh my God. So remember, we are only looking at all the benefit now. But medicine will come with harm also, right? This is an data which is telling you vomiting, adverse event vomiting. Okay? Now, what the result tells you? Favors placebo. The right one is favors placebo. Now, what's the conclusion? Health something now. Oral zinc. There is a benefit in reducing the days of diarrhea, but it comes with the side effect. There is a possibility of vomiting, and the risk is also there with oral zinc. But we have to see how much is the risk, how much is the benefit. If the benefit is more, it's okay to vomit than diarrhea. Okay? That is the, you have to see the benefit as well as risk. Okay? If you find that there is a benefit in the favor zinc, it doesn't make sense because placebo doesn't have any intervention. Obviously, there will not be any side effects. Understood now? Now it's your time, not looking at this. Open up your mobile, go to Cochrane Library, take oral zinc, and then read some reviews on oral zinc, and then see whether you are able to understand it. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. I will come and help you to clarify your doubts. Just go to Cochrane Library, search for zinc acetate. You will get the list of reviews.
Dear participants, if you are having any queries, can you please raise the points?
I have a query to the audience. Last, who sat no, at last benches. So I think we have some questions ready for them. Yeah. So, Chandrababu Naidu, Panindra, Srinivas, రావాలి ముందుకు రావాలి కమ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ వెళ్ళబోతున్నాడు అంటే విన్నారా లేదా శ్రీనివాస్ రెడ్డి పేరు చెప్పకుండా మీరు ముందుకు వస్తున్నారే దట్స్ వాట్ సిన్సియర్ ఎనీవే థ్యాంక్ యూ
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening session and sharing the valuable insights. We appreciate your time and expertise in the systematic review and meta-analysis. Hope the delegates found it informative and engaging of an interaction during the session. So it's privilege to felicitate Mr. Richard Kurbakaran, who has graciously shared his expertise in systematic review